So you know the ones where you're listening to a song that you really like and you're like, that's my tune. That's my tune. Hey, this is Jojo B and this is episode 25 of That's My Tune, the podcast providing song reviews and interviews. Last week I interviewed Bizina regarding her song Chanel, and this week I'll be reviewing the song Cherish the Day by Robert Glasper and Lalah Hathaway. I love that song to bits and pieces. Sit back, relax, enjoy this lovely jazz, and I'll be back after this to talk about why I like the song and a whole lot more. Cherish the Day. What a beautiful song, honestly. It's one of those songs where I can't listen to it just once. When I decide to listen to it, it has to be multiple times in a row. Like, I could have it on repeat and not get bored of it because it's such, Robert Glasper and Lalah Hathaway, honestly, thank you. Honestly, thank you. And I'm not surprised because Black Radio, that album from which Cherish the Day comes from, that is a masterpiece, quality masterpiece. That dropped in 2012. And honestly, it's one of those songs that has aged well over time for me. Like, I appreciate it more and more the more I listen to it because there's the technical brilliance and then there's the musical aspect as well. And it just marries so well. Shout out to the sound engineer as well because it's clean. The engineering is clean. It's clean. I just had to say that it's clean, but I'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, Cherish the Day is just, it's just wonderful. It's an experience for me, and it's funny because like once upon a time, I had no idea who Robert Glasper was. And I'll tell you how I actually got to know about him. It was actually more of like a happy accident. So I think this was back in 2013. He was doing a concert in London and I got to know about it, I think via Twitter. And the reason why I wanted to attend the concert was to see Lalah and Lalah Hathaway because they were meant to be special guests. And I was like, well, I've wanted to see these two, so this is the perfect opportunity. Now, again, I didn't know who Robert Glasper was, but I thought since these two are featuring, it gives me an idea of the kind of music he could potentially be producing, playing. So when I decided, okay, I'm going to go to this concert, I thought, you know what, I am not going to research any of his music. I want to be surprised almost. So I thought, cool. So I bought my ticket. Cool. The night of the concert comes round. I attend. I get there late because of the time I finished work. But nonetheless, I was happy to be there. So I'm there just quietly at the back. And I'm just there, just listening. Now, obviously, I don't know what the songs are because I've never heard them before. But it was just nice being in a place where people could appreciate jazz/neo soul. So I'm there, I'm enjoying. And throughout the concert, you just keep hearing Black Radio. And I thought, okay, this must be the name of the album. And then there was a pivotal point for me when Our Yeah started playing. As soon as those opening chords came, there was this collective from the audience. Again, I don't know this song, but the way the audience reacted to Oh Yeah, I thought, okay, this is interesting. They have me intrigued. Like, I want to know more about the song. So the song keeps playing. I'm listening. I'm just like, yeah, I understand why the audience likes this song. I'm loving it too. Like, yeah, give me more. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't stay for the whole concert because it was late as it was. And I had to prepare for work the next day. Whether Lalah and Lalah Hathaway showed up, I have no idea. I didn't get the chance to see that. But please believe the very next day, I was on YouTube. I typed in Black Radio and I listened to the songs that were presented. I was going through the songs and I was like, yes, this is something I can vibe with. And since then, I've been a Robert Glasper fan. So that's how I got to know about it. It was literally an accident. But a good one at that because he produces dope music. Honestly, he really, really does. And funny enough, I think a year or two later, Robert Glasper came down to London again. I went to the concert again because of the time I finished work. I arrived there late. But the good thing is this time round, I stayed behind and I hung around for a bit and I got to take a picture of Robert Glasper, Mark Kohlenberg, his drummer, and Casey Benjamin as well. So that was my happy ending. Do you know what I mean? That's my story where Robert Glasper is concerned. I have one more. This was 2018 at Afropunk. But I'll save that story until the end. But it's funny, trust me, it's funny. Well, to me anyway. Before I get into the song analysis, there's one more story I got to share, and this is about Lalah Hathaway. Now, when you think of Lalah's voice, well, for me, like, I think of Silk I describe this texture of her voice as like silk. It's smooth, it's warm. That's what her voice exudes for me. And let's not forget that chord thingy she does with her voice, like harmonizing with herself, by herself, whichever way you want to describe it. It's mine. Like, how the hell do you do that? Like, it's not, I mean, I'm sure by now you must have seen the infamous clip with her Snarky Puppy singing something, right? There's this point where there are three occasions where she does the harmony thing and everybody's like, okay, cool. They're still keeping her cool. The fourth time when she harmonizes with herself, everybody loses it. Even the musicians, like if you watch the video clip, Snarky Puppy and Lalah Hathaway something. Yeah, check it out, yeah? It's a live recording. Like the fourth time when she does it, everybody loses their mind, including the drummer, because there's a point when she first starts the whole ad-libbing. I can't talk. When she starts the whole ad-libbing thing, right? The drummer is not doing anything. It's just the organ doing this thing. And then there's a point where the drummer is using a hi-hat to keep time. So she's doing the harmonizing. When it gets to the fourth time, even the drummer stops keeping time because he too, the whole thing just slaps. Do you see what I'm saying? And when you watch the clip, you'll see his reaction is hilarious. And that's where my story comes in. Lalah Hathaway came to Jazz Cafe, I think it was 2014, and I managed to get free tickets because at the time I was a radio DJ for a radio station. And my radio manager was like, oh, got tickets, would you like to go? And I was like, of course I'd like to go. Why would I say no for? And I hollered at one of my boys and I was like, fam, do you want to roll with me? They're like, yeah, of course. So we meet up at Jazz Cafe. And I'm one of those people, when I go to a concert, I like to be front row. And thankfully I was front row. So Layla's doing her thing. She comes on stage, she's singing, she's doing her thing, and everybody's loving it. Now it gets to the point where she's now, doing the ad-libbing, doing her scatting and stuff like that. And you're loving it. And then she does the harmony thing. Now, bear in mind, I've forgotten she can do this. So I'm loving what she's doing anyway. Once she does the harmony thing, I lose my mind for a moment. I can't even remember how I reacted, but I reacted to the point where my friend had to hold me. And Lalah herself was just like, are you okay? She asked me if I was okay. The Lalah Hathaway cared for my well-being. She asked if I was okay. Like, guys, I just need a moment. She asked me if I was okay. And my friend was like, she's just having a moment. And I literally, because I was just like, am I actually hearing and seeing this in the flesh? Like, this thing is actually real. Listen, Lalah Hathaway, you probably can't remember who the hell I am, but thank you. Thank you for caring about me. And thank you for your awesome vocals. Like, I just had to say that. So let's go back to Cherish the Day, right? It's off the album Black Radio, which was released in 2012. There are a few elements that I like, and I'm going to share them with you. So let's look at the instruments first. Let's break that down. So I like how simple the setup is in terms of the instruments. There's not a lot going on. So you have your piano, you have your Rhodes, you have your drum kit, you have the bass guitar, you have a Sax Solo, I believe is the alto sax. You have the synth pad that plays the oud, and I'll expand on that a bit later on. And then you have this, I don't quite know how to describe it, but I'll call it like a radio frequency type sound. It's like, yeah, it's my rendition, but it goes on throughout the track at different points. So for me, it kind of highlights the whole, because it's called Black Radio, so it's like keeping that radio element within the song, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I think at some points there's a tambourine as well. Yeah, it sounds like there's a tambourine at different points of the song as well. But yeah, like I said, in terms of the instruments, it's a very simple setup. There's nothing crazy about it. When you first listen to the song, there's some automation. So like the intro fades in, right? And everybody, the vocals, the instruments, they are all filtered. And it's interesting that as the song fades in, as time goes on, like the automation fades out until you hear everything properly. If I don't know how else to describe it in layman terms, but yeah, that's how the best way I can describe it. The filter comes off and you hear everything properly. It sounds clear. Yeah. Now, like I said earlier, the sound engineer needs a round of applause because the mix is clean. Oh yeah, I must say the intro, one aspect I do like is when the drummer comes in and they're playing the hi-hat, they're playing the kick drum, but they're playing the side of the snare. So they're not playing the rim shot, they're not playing the actual snare, but they're playing the side of it. And I was like, oh, that's quite creative. I like that. So that's just a by the way. But yeah, the sound engineer did an excellent job with the mix. It is very, very clean. And one aspect that I like in terms of the mix was the piano. It's You can hear that it's EQ'd to sound light and clear and bright. And outside of that, when Glasper's playing, you can hear that he's playing the keys with a lightness. He's not, and it contributes to the overall sound of the song, because there's a nice like mid-tempo-ish kind of groove, but he's playing it with a lightness, so it works. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope I'm making myself clear when I say that. Yeah, but I love it. And also the snare sounds very crisp. I like the sound. In fact, the drum kit, when you listen to the drum kit, you can hear that it's got effects like the cymbal, the kick drum. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the way the kick drum has been EQ'd, but I'm sure that had their reasons why. Maybe they wanted to preserve a bit of grit, because like I said, this song is primarily jazz, but what Robert Glasper likes to do is have elements of hip hop. So I think where the drum kit is concerned, they wanted to have that hip hop element with the gritty sound, with the gritty sound of the drum kit. So that's my guess. That's my take on it. So yeah, but I love how, for the most part, the snare sounds very crisp. I like it. So yeah. Now, when you look at the vocals, Lalah's vocals are mixed. It sounds light, it sounds airy, and for the majority of the song there's a hint of reverb and delay, and I love it. I just love it. Like Lalah's voice, she's more of an alto tenor in terms of her vocals. Not that she can't hit higher notes, but that's more. But when you hear her singing, it's like the way the vocals have been mixed, it sounds light, it sounds airy, and it's just a beautiful. It's beautiful. It just sounds great. And another thing that I noticed was the chorus. Like there's 3 times where the chorus is sung with Lalah and Casey Benjamin. So the first time the chorus is sung with those two is her and Casey Benjamin singing together. So she's singing the higher octave, he's singing the lower octave, and they're singing it straight. Then the second time when the chorus is sung, there's a call and response approach. So Casey is singing it straight, cherish the day, won't go straight. And as the chorus progresses, like Lalah begins to play the words more. She's not sticking to the straight melody. She's playing around with the melody and so on. And then the third chorus, there's the call and response again. And yeah, so like Lalah stays within the melody, but at times she plays around with it. And another thing I noticed in terms of vocals is that, well, 2 things. Casey Benjamin, there are obviously effects, and to be honest, I can't really break down what effects are being used on his vocals, but there are effects. And then there are no BVs. That's the second thing I also observed. There are no BVs. But with the synth pad, you hear it's an ooh, right? With the synth pads, it's almost as if it's a substitute for what could have been backing vocals. But then again, I like how simple the arrangement is. I like that there was no backing vocals. And I love how the musicians get a chance to shine. So this is where the sax solo comes in. And that is my favorite part of the song, the sax solo. And I think, like I said, it's an alto sax. So Casey Benjamin is playing it. And it just takes me somewhere. Every time I listen to it, it just takes me somewhere. And I love how, again, they mixed it, they engineered it. There's a bit of reverb, there's delay. And it just, like, not even Lalah is ad-libbing. She just lets him do his thing. And I love that she gave him that space. It just allows you to just soak it in. It just allows you. And even the drummer, when he's playing, when the sax is, he does these little things like dun dun. So he's playing the beat and it goes dun dun. Like, you know, so I love things like that. They have their little time to shine as well. And like Robert Glasper, throughout this time when he's playing the piano, he gets the chance to, you know, do his thing, gets to improvise and all the rest of it. But because the way it's mixed, it doesn't sound too much. So he has the freedom to express himself without it feeling like it's too much, if that makes sense. There's a bit of Rhodes underneath from at different points. And I love how once the sax solo is done, it's like things switch up a bit. So the bassist and the drummer, they change the way that they play. And it gives a nice dynamic. It gives a nice contrast. Do you see what I'm saying? And there's I don't know if it's the Rhodes, but it's very subtle. There's this I know I'm singing it but it's very subtle, and it's more towards the left side of the sound spectrum, but it's a very, I'm sure it's the Rhodes. if it's not Rhodes, it's a sound that I can't pick out. But like once the sax solo is done, that comes in. It's very subtle. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, those are the different things I observed. And it's just a beautiful production. The song is just a beautiful production. And again, it's one of those songs that I can just have and repeat over and over. I mean, before I did this recording, I listened to the song, though I'm very familiar with it. I thought, let me listen to it again. And I listened to it like 5-6 times back to back, because it's just a mesmerizing song. Honestly, it really, really is. And I encourage you to listen to the song. If this is your first time listening to it, keep listening to it. And also the album as well, Black Radio. It's got so many gems on there. Honestly, so many gems. Like, I love Afro Blue with Erykah Badu. And It's Gonna Be Alright. And I love the one with Mos Def as well. That one is definitely a hip hop. It's one of those songs that make you just nod. And he does a bit of singing here and there as well. It's just amazing. And there's also the cover of the song's coming to me. Smells Like Teen Spirit. Yeah, Smells Like Teen Spirit. So Robert Glasper and Casey Benjamin, they do their own kind of cover. It doesn't stray too much away from the actual version. It keeps with the same groove and that, but I just like it. So yeah. So that is the analysis I have for Cherish today. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on about it, but those are the main elements that stand out to me when listening to the song. I promised you one more story, didn't I? Yes. So here we go. Afropunk 2018. Now, it's interesting how I got to attend this event, because I won the ticket. So let's start from there. Twitter, there was a magazine, I think it was, online magazine, and they're like, yeah, we're giving away 4 tickets to go to Afropunk 2018, and you have to do X, Y, and Z to enter the competition. So I followed the instructions and I left it at that. So now days go by, I even forget that I've even entered the competition. I'm at work and I haven't had a particularly good day, but it's lunchtime, so I'm like, bun everybody in it. So I go on my lunch, go and sit in my room, I'm ready to eat, turn on my phone, checking messages, whatnot, go on Twitter. All I see is congratulations, and they're saying that I've won the tickets to Afropunk 2018. I was like, oh my goodness, yay. So I'm very, very excited. So there's me and 3 of my friends I invite for us to go along. So the Saturday comes round of the event and I'm so excited. So after work, I'll go to Nando's to get me a nice meal, because you have to eat nicely. And thankfully, Nando's is opposite Brixton Academy. So that's a very, very, very strategic thing. Thank you, Nando's. So I'll go and eat my Nando's. I'm excited. Now, I finish eating, get to the queue. There are not many people. I'm conversing with people. And then towards the back, there's some people, but I'm not paying attention to who they are. And then somebody goes, wait, isn't that Robert Glasper on Common at the back? And we're looking and we're like, oh snap, it is. So we're like, okay, let's go. So I'm half walking, half running to try and see if I can at least say hi to them. So thankfully I get there, and I try not to be a crazy fan to, scare them off. So I get to them and I was like, oh, Robert Glasper, I'm a big fan of your work. Managed to get a selfie with him, and I managed to get a selfie with Common as well. Oh, happy day. Look, I literally could have just gone home that day and been happy. Like, I got a selfie with these 2 superstars, innit? But I didn't do that. So the concert comes now. Now, this is where the funny story comes in. So Robert Glasper and his band, then already they do this thing. Common doesn't come in until later. Come on stage until later, but my story doesn't involve Common. Right. So Robert Glasper and his band, they come around. It's time for them to do their set. They're doing their thing. And again, I'm front row, so I can see everything. So now they're playing. Now the drummer, I think his name is Kareem, the drummer, he's there and he's literally in his own world, right? And I'll tell you why. Because this guy is playing his heart out, but he's not playing in time with the other musicians. He's playing off. And at first I thought, oh, maybe I'm hearing things, but then you can literally see. And I'm sitting there and I'm there with my friends. I'm like, fam, this guy is not playing in time. He's out of time. And all of us were like, oh my goodness, like people are noticing. And the way this setup is, like, there's no way that Robert Glasper could communicate with Kareem, because Kareem is across the other side of the stage. So there's no subtle way for Robert Glasper to be like, yo, listen, you need to, concentrate. Do you see what I'm saying? So Kareem is playing his heart out. And the funniest part of it for me is, it's not like Kareem is playing a simple beat, right? He's playing a complex beat. He's playing a complex rhythm, right? So he's playing this complex rhythm and it's out of time. And it's just not. So I'm just standing, I'm just like, oh my gosh. And you can see Robert Glasper's face. Like, you can see that this guy is not amused. But thankfully him and the rest, they just managed to just hold it together. Because I think that was like the first or second song in their set. And I was like, my goodness, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. And Kareem was literally in his own world. He was in his own world, and he thought he was killing it. That's the sad thing. So that's the final story I have, and that's my song analysis, and that is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed. I really hope I entertained you. Are you not entertained? As usual, if you like to connect with me, you can on Twitter, Ms. Jojob, MZJOJOB. And if you'd like to connect with That's My Tune, you can in the following ways. That's My Tune Pod on Twitter. That's My Tune Podcast on Instagram. And if you'd like to email, that's my tune podcast at gmail.com. No bonus episode this week, but you can tune in next Tuesday for another episode. Subscribe, listen, tell your friends. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. So until then, have a good day, have a good week, and I'll be back. Ciao. Ciao.